Hi there. So I'm here today with Karen, French artist. So welcome to here, and I really want to hear a bit about your work. So can you tell us kind of how you started getting into this type of work and this area of spiritual related artwork?
Right, okay. Well, I've always been art obsessed, and that was my passion. And I used to do very realistic art, fine shading, etc. And then around the mid 1990s, I started having ideas for how you'd represent abstract constructs of reality like time and space using geometry. And I'd done a maths degree, but I'd never really done anything like this. And so I started writing a book about it, and this book got bigger and bigger, and it became more consuming and has become a vocation, really. And now it's a series of books. And people kept saying, well, how do you use what you write about? Because inevitably the spiritual aspect of geometry and sacred geometry came into it, which I'd never really been exposed to. And my whole life started going in that direction rather than that direction. And so I started training in energy healing and got very interested in all that type of thing. So I started doing abstract expressionistic art, where I would do things like meditate and clear myself and then just allow art to come through me. And these pieces of art were started to have effects on people. Whenever I showed them, people get very emotional, even negative emotions, not always positive ones. And I've got several stories of where there's quite amazing coincidences, because I never knew what the art represented until it or meant until it had come through and just sat with it. And it was like, oh, that's to do with this and that's to do with the other. And then that would be reinforced by people's experiences of it. So I started doing that around about 2010, started doing this type of art. And I don't create huge quantities because obviously I'm still writing books and I do other projects like board games. I do a lot of talks and things like that. So I really do it when a day presents itself and I'm ready to do it.
And I suppose if it's channeling through you, it isn't something that you're necessarily
No,
pre-composing, just using informed choices, but being channeled with the energy.
yeah.
But with regards to the art, can you tell us just quickly what kind of mediums you use or what
Okay.
pictures or canvases, just so we can get a feel of what your artwork.
Okay. Right. Well, I'd never used canvases, and I did one, and I had it next to me on my stall. And this guy next to me said, "Oh, that's amazing! You should do more. Would you like to exhibit in my yoga studio?" And it turned out he used to be an art dealer. And I said, "Yeah, sure. How when is it? Oh, in 3 months' time." And then I saw the size of this yoga studio, so I had to create vast quantities of it. And then I thought, oh, I just love working with canvas. I'd always been on paper before that because it's more solid and robust. And I just gravitated to acrylics straight away, mainly because the color range at the time was quite incredible. And also they're amazingly versatile. You can do all sorts of things texturally with them. You can have them where they're transparent and translucent over each other. So, and also they dry quickly. I just, you're not sitting with loads of paintings waiting for months and months for them to dry. And so that versatility, so I experimented with all sorts of different types of brands of acrylic. And then as I moved on, I started to realize when my next book came out, it's about the creative process and how different cultures, the art that they were doing was, I'd say, alchemical. It was about what you put in there, the geometry, the colors, and also the materials are relevant. So, for example, the Buddhist mandalas that they meditate for several hours, then they create with sand and just specific colors and use it, and then they brush it away. So, in more recent years, I've started to become far more aware of the materials that I'm using. So, I've been using quite a lot of metallics, silver, gold, and copper because of what they do. And I'm introducing ground crystals, and I'm actually thinking about moving towards using water-based oils. But I'm also very, very, very careful about how I dispose of any waste from the acrylic paints, my brush and things like that, because there's an eco element to it as well. So yeah, so it's a combination of the geometry, the color, materials, and if you're being really specific about it and using it for sacred geometry applications, even the sound is relevant. So people would chant when they're using sacred geometry, but I don't expect people viewing my art to start chanting in front of it.
Just quickly for that, so from your one website, what's your website details, please, Karen?
It's KarenLFrench.com.
And on that, would you better find out about your sacred geometry books?
I do, yes. There's my
and
book
artwork.
And artwork and talks and anything I'm working on, because at the moment just I'm working on board games that are based on sacred geometry. They're more for divination and things like that. So yet to come out, one's coming out very soon.
Excellent. Okay, well, everyone, thank you for listening to our short talk and introduction with Karen French here. Please go to KarenLFrench.com, her website, and enjoy the show today.
Thank you very much.